All team members have arrived at Bali Base. They started filling up their respective oxygen supply and could breathe a sigh of relief after the 7.6 kilometers journey, which was so difficult. One of the team members activates the air suppression system and regulates gravity. Dr. Song and the other members began to look at the situation at the Bali base, guided by Captain Han to the command center to find the main power source. While Dr. Song is still focused on looking at the surroundings, they continued walking down the Bali base. In the middle of their journey, they were surprised to find corpses lying on several sides of the Bali base alley. Dr. Song and Captain Han dared themselves to proceed and examined one of the corpses. After checking, in fact, that they were the people trying to break into the Bali base, because his weapons and clothes showed like a mercenary. Dr. Song found it strange because all the skin surfaces of the corpses looked wrinkled like someone drowned. There is foam of mucus around the mouth and the lungs are swollen. How could it happen? This of course makes no sense. Amidst the confusion, Captain Han ordered the entire crew to move on. There was a strange behavior from one of the team members, but they didn't notice it. In the middle of the trip, they felt even more strange because the radiation that was reported to have leaked turned out to be normal and fine. They grow increasingly suspicious that the death of the crew 5 years ago was not the result of a radiation leak. It's because of a radioactive substance that they do not know yet. A debate ensued between Dr. Song and Captain Han. Dr. Song wants to perform an autopsy on the corpse to find out the cause of their death, while Captain Han told all the crew to focus on the mission and head to the command center. Finally, with a heavy heart, they followed Captain Han's orders and continued their journey. A few hours later, they arrived at the command center. All the power supplies were turned on. The Bali base, which was dark before, turned bright and resplendent. They get suspicious. Why would such a fine place suddenly close? Esoru-chan ordered to check the system based on the manual. Their filtration system was activated. All crew removed their protective helmets and could breathe normally. Captain Han chaired the meeting. Since there are 3 save points, they are divided into 3 groups. Dr. Hong, E2, and Captain Han to Storage 1. Taisuk, Sun, Suchun and E1 to Storage 2. Chairman Gong, Dr. Song and Giza to Storage 3. They split up and did their job. While walking down the hall leading to Storage 3, Suchun's team was surprised by the many graffiti on the walls of the hall. Meanwhile, Captain Han's team had arrived in front of Storage 1, but the door could not be opened. Finally, they decided to force open it and found nothing because all the capsule bottles were empty. They only found the many bodies of the Bali base crew lying down. At another place, Dr. Song and her team are almost to Storage 2. Dr. Song, who had secretly studied Bali's base map, planned to split up from the team, but her action failed. He remembered his conversation with Mr. Huang at that time. When she asked for Luna, the clue her sister gave her was, "Find Luna." Mr. Huang only replied that Luna was the data storage center at the Bali base. Suchun's team on duty to Storage 3 also found nothing. But suddenly, Suchun saw a corpse holding a capsule bottle. He tries to get the sample. Now, the only hope is the team of Dr. Song's. They continued down the hall, but there is something suspicious from one of his team. He seemed to be giving information to someone surreptitiously. One of the crew received a signal that an unknown creature was in their vicinity. How could there be other creatures living in the Bali base? They are increasingly curious and want to investigate it. Finally, Dr. Song left quietly. Meanwhile, Suchun was still struggling to take the sample bottle. When he pulled the bottle accidentally, a splash of water hit his eyes. And this is in vain because the sample bottle was also empty. One of Dr. Song's team is still struggling to find the sample. While looking for samples, suddenly his flashlight fell, and apparently he found one of the sample bottles that was still green. When Suchun's team was about to go to the command center, Suchun suddenly felt not well. Suddenly, water came out of his ear. What will happen? Then how is the struggle of Dr. Song and Suchun's next fate? Please continue to part 3.